obviously it's been a big month for you as we do this. WWE release happened 1 month ago. How are you feeling after that, and how were you feeling when you got the call?
Um, when I got the call, it's actually it's funny. Like I had a feeling, and I was actually on my way to the performance center because I had to go and get something printed out because in today's day, who has an actual printer? So I was actually on my way to the performance center to get something printed out, and my phone rings and it says WWE Inc. And it was kind of like I knew, so I didn't answer. So I went in, got my things printed because I obviously knew it was coming because I had put across that I was unhappy.
Mm-hmm.
Without overly stepping on toes, I made it quite apparent that I wanted to do more, and where I currently was didn't sit well with me. So got the thing printed off, gave the call back. They informed me, that they were going to release me, and I'd always heard like rumblings that once that day comes, and it comes for everyone, everyone's going to get that call one day, but they all would say that this weight gets lifted off your shoulders. And there's two things in my life which people have said, which I'm very curious on. They say once you have a child, it's a love that you can't even explain. And when you get fired from the WWE, it's this crazy weight lifted off. So there are two things that I was very curious on to see what, people were talking about. One just so happened before the other. And, it was a literal weight came off and I felt free. But my main concern, what was going to happen to my visa situation, was my main concern. I didn't care about the wrestling. Obviously, like I said, I wasn't overly happy there, just sitting in the back, not being utilized. But obviously, I've built a life here. I have animals. I have a house. I've spent a quarter of my life in the US. So that was my main concern because I think I have I have a strong belief that I have something to offer and that I will land on my feet. So the wrestling necessarily wasn't anything I do wrestling wise is better than sitting in the back in my head. So that was what I was mainly focused on, which was the initial thing. So, but once a couple of days went past, I was, I embraced it. I was excited, different projects to dip my foot in. And yeah, man, it's a weird, unique situation, but it was as well as getting punched in the stomach, because obviously it's a massive shock. It was a breath of fresh air.
And the visa thing is something we've heard a lot more about in recent weeks. Peyton Royce and Billy Kay have been very transparent about their issues with that. And last year, when you got guys like AOP, supremely talented, but not U.S. citizens, getting released in the middle of a pandemic where there's not a lot of people hiring, so to speak, that can be a major hurdle. Now, I mean, obviously, I don't think you're going to struggle to find work in that sense, but have you already got the ball rolling on a visa situation separate of that? How does that even work?
So I'm taking the measurements that I need to take. But obviously, when I would like to have as many Band-Aids over the wound as possible, as many backups as possible. So the ball is rolling, but we'll see what happens. I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. There's no point stressing on something that I can't really control at the point. I've done the things that I need to do. Now it's the waiting game.